Molly, can you hear me?
I can, Eric.
Okay. So I've started the meeting, but I'm going to have to jump off to work on the meeting that's going on in the Nat Hill room.
Okay.
So you guys have a list of people you want to promote to panelist?
Um, I don't, I don't even know who's attending virtually or who's attending in person. They said they had enough for a quorum, so I don't know if they mean like they're all just going to be downstairs in the, whatever that conference room is called right by the door.
So it sounds to me like there's not a lot of people in that room right now because I got my Mark Hazelbaker is there right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna. So anyway, um,
But
I'll
I
be
can
here
give
for
you the
probably.
names. I can email you real quick the names of the people who were on the commission, and if they join, they would be
That's fine,
know,
but if they don't join the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna be moving on to the other hearing.
okay. Can I admit people as panelists?
Yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna promote you to co-host.
Was Eric going to join virtually? He said he thought he would be
try
really
if he
busy.
could, but he didn't know his schedule, so he didn't know if he could or not.
Okay,
Hello.
so Molly,
Yeah.
all you gotta do when you see someone on the attendees tab that needs to be moved to the panelist, you right click on them and on the drop down menu, there'll be an item that says promote to panelist. Then the person on the other end has to accept that or else it won't go through.
Okay. Easy enough.
Great. All right, I'm gonna jump off of this then.
Okay.
Have it up here.
We don't usually have Zoom. Last meeting, we just had somebody on the phone.
Need to have visual if we want to have a
If we want to have a
person
vote.
voting.
Yeah. But we've got 4 here, so. Hello, Doris. Yes, hybrid meetings have their own challenges.
But then, well, yeah, I'm trying to plug the TV in, it wasn't plugged in. The TV wasn't plugged in. Do you want me to move it like over to the center?
Sure.
No, there?
Yeah, I could move down. Yeah, so that I appear. Mask.
Yes.
Need me to move?
Yeah, it might help if you move down that way a little bit.
I'll turn on the screen and. Trust Byron not to be infectious.
I'm waiting.
Means they're not using it very often.
You can see better now.
In the car, I hope I locked it. Yes, good point. Is that Jeff Popple? No, the other voice on. Be a different tech person. Seeing your daughter, because I finally started going back to church. She was there in person, and I've been there in person. Were you there in person? Yes, yes, because I said hello to you. Yes, our eyes met. Right. That's right. I didn't think I could work it back into my routine, but I have.
You know, I went 2 Sundays in a row and it just kind of hit me. I didn't realize how much I missed it. It was really good to be back.
Anyway, I did see Margie and she said she was taking job as administrative assistant. And so when I listened in a week ago to their meeting,
she was there.
I-
Running the meeting.
Oh, good, I'm looking forward.
And she, hopefully she has them corralled. It was kind of, I think, like herding cats, so.
Is this a paid position?
It must be. It's-
You know,
Aha.
sounds like it.
Yeah. So, but she knows the issues, so I'm glad they've got her. Been having these meetings for 2 months, and I thought they were on Mondays, and I kept missing them, but they're on Wednesdays.
Turn it.
Might as well be meeting number one, as far as I could tell. They're still talking about, we need to have
Saturday
Saturday
night.
for all the programs. Oh, look,
There we go.
oh, good.
Right up there?
Well, we're not, but
Something's
at
up
least
there.
something's there.
Oh, there's a screen in front of the,
Yeah.
I can see you guys. Hi, it's Molly. I can see you guys.
okay, we can see your name.
I'm
See your
Molly.
name. I think if you turns it to speaker. Zoom, right?
Oh, my camera's off.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Like that. There you go. All right, we see ourselves
Now we see
now.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Goldberg is there as well. We see Goldberg. It's me. Can you hear us, Goldberg?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, terrific.
Good, great. All right, well, it gives us a visual understanding of who's in the meeting.
Okay.
All right, I think we can call ourselves to order.
All right.
Is that your mark, right? Yes. Are you going to be leaving shortly or will you be able to see us through this or what do we need to do?
Thank you.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll call the roll. Sedaly,
Present, Kathleen Sedeli, present.
Arlette,
Present.
Gray,
Susan Gray, present.
Maynard.
Goldburn Maynard present.
Thank you. Baker here. So we have a quorum of 5 present and attending, plus a staff in the person of Molly Turner King and something called TSD or someone. That's you. Okay, that's our
Yeah.
administrator. First thing to do is review and approve the April 2022 meeting minutes, which Susan has prepared and distributed. Are there any amendments, corrections, additions,
No.
No, I move to accept the minutes.
or support?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
And if since one person is appearing virtually for votes, you have to do a roll call.
Okay,
And if a member is appearing virtually and wants to participate in the vote, they have to be visible.
all right, that means if you want to participate in votes, Maynard Goldberg, you need to be, you have your video on. Okay, we see you now.
Okay, there he is.
All right, so I'll call the roll again. Sedaly on this motion to accept the minutes.
So Kathleen Sedeli, move to accept the minutes. Yes.
I'm calling the roll. We've already got the motion.
No, but didn't, I thought she said I
You
had.
moved to accept the minutes. I think Susan
We have-
I
seconded it.
seconded.
I have to do a roll call with the vote. To
Roll
see
So I
call.
think he's
the vote.
asking for yay or nay to accept.
That's right. Sedaly,
Yay.
Barlett,
Yay.
Gray,
Yay.
Maynard,
Yay.
Banger, yay. The minutes are approved as submitted. Thank you all. Okay, next thing, unfinished business. Says old business on our agenda. I've always been taught that there's no old business, it's just unfinished.
It's better stated, yeah.
Update on staff administrative contact for the minutes. Susan, do you have anything to update as well?
Well, Dina DeLauder-Meyer is the administrative assistant, and she uploaded last month's minutes after I sent them to her after they were approved. And she sent out a reminder, although she didn't ask for replies, so we weren't real sure. We were hoping we were going to have a quorum. But anyway, so that's who we've got.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what she can do for us, but obviously she can help with putting the minutes on the county site and sending out reminders, so.
Well, sometime I hope we'll be able to meet with her personally and we can explore those kinds of questions that we don't have resolved yet.
Well, I can email her and ask her if she would get the reminders or make sure we have a quorum.
Okay,
So that's what we need to do.
right, okay. Update under B, update on whether Sater's past case was properly closed out. On our agenda, it shows that Molly Turner King might have some information about that.
Yeah, so I checked with Margie, who helped Mr. Sater handle that complaint. And she advised that so this was a complaint that involved Cook as the employer, and that contact was made with Cook's outside counsel, and Cook's outside counsel provided a written letter regarding the incident. And Margie believed that Mr. Sater did receive a copy of the written letter, and then after receiving the written letter, contact was made with the complainant. And from there, it was decided that there wasn't enough information to proceed. So I think everything that needed to be done to close that case has closed that case. And I can follow up with Mr. Sater to see if he needs another, or if he would like me to try to track down the written letter that we got from outside counsel and provide him another copy.
Molly, I might be able to shed a little light on this, why this is a question, at least for us.
Okay.
And that is, I've been on the Bloomington Human Rights Commission for over 20 years, and I've been on this commission since it was chartered. And typically, my experience with the city at least has been that when a case is closed, there's a written agreement signed by the investigating commissioner and the staff attorney to indicate that there was a no probable cause, if in fact, as you described, there was not enough evidence to proceed. So even though there's no further action required by the commission, there's a statement of record, a document of record that indicates that there was a finding. The finding was no probable cause in this particular case. So that's resolved in that way. And I think the question is that I have, and that I think Eric had, was that he did not recall ever having signed any such statement. So you might explore that question for us and see if there's more to be done in that regard.
Okay, I can double check to see if there was something signed, and if not, try to resolve that.
Okay. The last case that I dealt with this commission, that's how Jeff Cockrell handled the conclusion of it. It was a no probable cause, but both of us signed off on a document to that effect.
Okay.
So I think that gives an indication that that's probably standard operating procedure, and it's something maybe didn't get completed in this other case. So thank you. We'll appreciate it if you can check that out.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So when you mentioned Jeff, you mean before Margie? worked
No,
with us?
I mean most recently,
Recently.
yes,
Okay, because
when Jeff succeeded Margie as our staff.
the cases I worked on with Margie, where I was part of an interview team, I never signed anything.
Okay,
But the
well,
one I did with Jeff before Margie, we did sign off.
So it may have been in the Margie period that didn't happen for
Right.
whatever reason.
Right.
It's not a criticism. I'm just saying that I was on at least a couple of cases and never signed anything.
apparently different staff attorneys have handled this differently, but my
I
own
guess-
pers-
I
my
guess
own
what is
pers-
your guys' preference? Would you like to sign something if there's no probable cause?
I would think that's a better way to close out a case than not to have any further documentation.
Yeah, I think
Because
so too.
this is Susan, just a letter from the council, from the not the complainants council, but the receiving council, that's just their side of it. It's not saying whether there's probable cause or not probable cause or whatever.
Yeah, we need something that documents the determination that was made by the investigating commissioner.
Yeah, good idea.
So I think that would be what we're talking about in this case.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's go on to C, unfinished business. Any update on the new commission appointee? You have any light to shed on that one?
So I spoke to Dina, who advised that they received 2 applications, one from Miss, I believe it's Guevara, and
Angelica?
a second person, and that both of those applications have been forwarded for commissioner review. So I think they're in the review process.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Also, we're putting you on the spot tonight.
It's okay.
Do you have any update on the status of the review of draft language for the website?
So I never received the draft language. I think that went to Jeff Cockrell. But from my understanding, it was language that is very similar, if not identical, to the language that's on the city HRC. I spoke with Barbara McKinney earlier this week, and if it is the language that is on the city's website, they're okay with the use of that language.
Okay, well, I think the main issue was that there were some places where it made reference to Bloomington or the city when it should say Monroe County.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, and it's not
What
not any really substantive differences perhaps, but just that.
Okay. What I will note for you guys is, and I noticed it today just when I was reviewing the website before the meeting. Right now, I don't think there's a link to a complaint form on there. And so I get that. No, I did not see one.
Right,
No.
that was one of our questions that we sent to Mr. Cockrell
Okay. So what I wanted to do.
or to IT or to somebody. We needed
What I
to-
wanted to do was, I can get with Jeff to look at the draft language, but I think it's more important to prioritize getting the form on it. So what I'm going to work on is getting that form up there. And I guess what I wanted to ask you guys is, do you have a form that you want to use? Because there is a form on the city website that indicates it's for both commissions, and I don't know if that's the form you want to use or.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, but we couldn't, both Susan and I both tried to click on it and we both got error messages. So
I was
that
able to click on it and download it today. And so
Well,
as of an hour ago, the form was
Great.
working.
Okay, but you're inside the county IT system and neither Kathy nor I are.
I was able to click on it using my personal computer from home.
Okay, good.
That's
So
good news.
that's good.
Was this the clicking on it from the city's website or from the
From
county?
the city's website.
Yeah,
It's
so
not on the counties. And so
It's
if you
not
want to
on
use
the
the same form, I can work on getting that information to Dina.
So the document that Susan and I worked on, that Eric sent on to Jeff, we were trying to work through the hierarchy. We had some comments and questions on some of the tricky wording. The content is not complicated, but we felt that a legal eye should at least look at it and see where we were suggesting that we swap out Bloomington for Monroe with Monroe County. There were some other things that a little bit different in our,
In the protected
housing.
yeah, and the Monroe County's code has them in a different order, but I think we determined that everything was
Okay.
there.
Yes.
That's on the city, that the county has all of it.
Okay.
But there were there were several questions that we wanted legal to look at, so.
Okay.
I don't know where it went, why it didn't go to you. I mean,
Well,
after
It
went
was
to
in the
Jeff.
transition. Jeff got
Yeah.
it just as Molly was being assigned to us.
Eric may not have kept a copy to send on to Molly.
Molly, if you want, I can send it
I
directly
was
to
gonna say,
you.
can you send it to
That would
Molly?
be very helpful.
All right, I will just send it to you. We'll start from scratch. All right.
Just to be clear, I
But-
think we're talking now about
The website language.
the website
Yeah.
language,
Yes.
not about the filing a complaint form.
No. This is the
Yeah,
website
right.
language.
Yeah, and the
But
filing complaint
if-
form, I think we just need to have that link added
Yeah,
Yep.
to the
And
county site.
If you guys are okay with it, I'm prioritizing the form over reviewing that draft language.
Yes, but let it be known that the link to the form is in the city's document. So
Yeah.
when we were editing the document to go on our website, one of the things that's included is that complaint form,
yeah,
which we couldn't see.
right. Okay.
It wouldn't open for us.
Okay,
Thank you.
anything else about this particular question?
That's
Okay.
great.
That's good. So Barbara McKinney's okay with us stealing their language.
Oh, it's not theft, it's just
Yes.
Sharing.
sharing, yeah.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
That's right. That's right.
Under our unfinished business, number E is the 4th of July parade. Before I ask for any information from Molly, let me indicate that the city commission met on Monday. They are hopeful that the county will join with them together in a common float or car. I think the current thinking is we probably wouldn't have a float, but just a car and something to distribute. We passed out booklets in the past, we passed out rubber band bracelets.
Bracelets, that's
I
right.
think there's some kind of a bubble, what's the right word for bubbles that you blow?
Like a bubble wand.
Some,
Yeah,
well,
we didn't do that. We had the little sticker, not a sticker, almost like a little tattooy thing, remember,
Yeah.
that we could pass out.
yeah, that was kind of messy to deal
Yeah.
with, so I think that the thought amongst at least one or two of the city people is that's a possibility, but there's nothing settled at this point, so if we have any other thoughts about what we'd like to have passed out,
Which
we
brings,
could add it to the list. There's the source for these is a company called the Oriental Trading Company, which is actually an American-based company founded by somebody of Asian identity.
Oh,
But, so their products may be made in China or somewhere, we don't know, but the company is an American company. But in any case, they have the least expensive of these kinds of items. And that's where the bracelets were purchased in the past.
okay,
I think that's where the tattoos came from. That's where blowing bubbles, a little jar where you blow, dip this thing and blow bubbles, that's what we're talking about.
yeah.
As another possibility, I'm not a great fan of that myself, but that's what's sort of being thought of.
All right.
So if we want to have any input, but the first question is, do we want to join together in a common effort?
Yes.
yes,
Sure.
I'll go.
yeah. Now, if
And
we use
I-
their,
Go ahead.
Sorry, I would
Molly.
add that Barbara McKinney did reach out to me this week, and I told her I would confirm with you guys. So I can go ahead and let her know that you would like to jointly appear with them. I don't know if they mentioned it when you were at the city meeting, but just so you all are aware, it's July 4th at 10 a.m. and it has a new parade route this year.
Oh,
So the new parade route it's going to go, it'll be on College Avenue and Walnut between Kirkwood and 10th, and all the staging will happen near City Hall.
ah,
Sort of where the farmer's market is, right?
I think that's, yeah. It says between 7th and 10th Street, so that
Yeah.
pretty much encompasses all of the Showers building.
Okay, so maybe all the way up and down, what is that, Monroe Street or something like that?
now, two issues with it. First off, we have all those posters that the kids made last
oh,
year.
yeah.
And those will have to, we might need two vehicles rather than one to put all those posters on, if we want to use them. Otherwise, we don't have to use them if we don't want to. Number two, what's our budget? We're back to that. Do we have a budget?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. My personal inclination would be to cull through the posters if you want to use any of them and just use what there's space for with one vehicle.
Okay,
The
I agree.
The current possibility is to use a vehicle, a convertible, a red convertible, I believe it is, that Val Hought owns
okay, well,
and that I would drive.
Oh,
And so it's not a vehicle to be adorned with a lot of,
right. And also
Extra
Val
things.
is not going to want tape
no.
to put on the side of her
probably
vehicle.
not, probably not.
Okay, so
So, I
looks
mean,
like we're not using those.
Unless
posters.
somebody else has a vehicle that they want to offer for this purpose. That's kind of the
Well, I
first
mean,
option at this point.
they all went on the old beat up truck last time and that's drivable, so. Or I can just put them back away and we can not have,
Having the
Posters.
big banners,
Yes.
basically including the concept of human rights commissions, seems fine to me. I mean, last year it was wonderful to have the truck with the posters when we were sedentary and people were driving past us because we needed to get their attention. And that was nice.
Yeah, and we do have some
Great
decals that
picture.
can be put on that are magnetic that can be put on the
Oh.
sides, at
Oh,
least for the city. I don't know whether the county has anything like that or not, but. So there's some way to put, and of course you could put little flags around the
yeah.
perimeter of the car or something like
Because we
that.
didn't have your trailer 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. The last time we did this
No.
was 2019. There was nothing in 2020. 2021 was the reverse.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
But even in 2019, I don't think you had your trailer.
No, we used the convertible then, I
Right.
think.
okay.
I am not able to walk the route. So if,
You can ride,
can I ride?
you can ride.
Okay, good.
I can walk.
I can walk and we've got that big banner which really has to be walked, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
there are two banners. There's one for the city and there's one for the county.
I'm only volunteering for the county.
Yeah.
But what that means, you need four people basically to
Yeah,
take care of two banners.
Well,
And the
Val,
city will have people participating.
Right, okay.
all right.
okay.
But the passing out of things, that's sort of the unresolved
Yeah.
question.
What are-
I don't know
what
if
are
you guys
the-
are familiar with Oriental Trading, but they have a lot of stuff on there. They have candy, bracelets, there's little bubble things, they have tattoos. And the list goes on and on, what is actually available.
I've looked through their catalog before.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the things that they have probably will end up in the trash heap sometime very soon after the parade, so the
Mhm.
city commissioners were trying to think of something that would not end up there, that people might want to hang on to. I think a lot of them probably hung on to the bracelets at least for a short time.
Oh, I still have one.
And, of course, when we had the coloring books, a lot of people used them as coloring books, but those are more expensive and more difficult to pass out, so.
So the bubbles are those, it's a teeny tiny one, right? It's rather.
Very
I
teeny,
have-
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they come in various sizes and, obviously the bigger the bubble you want, the more you're gonna pay for it.
But how you distribute them, I mean, we don't want to be carrying around.
Well, you
big
can't
sacks
throw them
of.
and you can't throw
No.
bubble things the way you can throw candy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they're
They
bigger.
were only about this big, weren't they?
Yeah,
They'll hit somebody in the head.
I think, Molly, maybe at this point, the thing to do would be to include the members of this commission in any conversation you have with Barbara about what to distribute,
Okay.
if that's possible.
And I don't know if, I mean, if Barbara brings to my attention any conversation about what to pass out, I will include you guys, but I don't know if the plan is to include me in that conversation.
All
Okay.
right, well, I will email Barbara and ask her to keep in touch with me and you, and by extension, the rest of this commission as well.
Okay.
So that we're kind of on the same page about whether we're passing anything out or not, and what it is.
And I know there was a question in regards to what the budget is, and that's gonna be a question that I think Dina would be able to help you guys answer.
That you could help us answer for the county, right? Yeah.
Dina. I do believe Dina
Oh,
would be able
Dina.
to help you.
Oh, okay.
So one thing we might take into consideration, if Doris and you and Val are in the car
Right.
and Susan and I, let's say we volunteered to hold one of the banners and then there's going to be another banner with two people, then you have to, it depends on how many people are going to be there to actually give out things. Because if
Yeah.
we're carrying the banner,
Yeah.
you can't let it go and run to the kids and things like that.
Right, I mean, this is something where we've often recruited people other than members of the commission, like spouses, significant others, children of commission members, whatever.
So that's an
So-
outreach thing. In terms of this group, I mean, we've got Eric and Goldburn. That's it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about
yeah. Well, I might be able to recruit some of the kids who made the posters to pass stuff out, but I can't be sure.
That'd be great.
That will just depend on
Sure,
whether they want to or not.
of course.
Goldberg, do you have
Val,
any questions about the parade practice?
Any input?
So I have no questions because I'll be out of town for the parade. I travel a lot in the summer for conferences, so that's why I'm out of town so much.
Okay,
Okay, so,
that's answer to that.
You will be missed.
yes, so we don't have Goldberg to pass out. Gifts. Okay.
Val is not going to be there, so that's why I would.
Oh, that's why you're-
Oh, she's not even gonna be there.
Oh, she's gonna be out of town.
Oh,
Does she trust you with her?
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's very cool.
I want to take care of it.
Oh, I'm kidding. Okay,
Okay, well, to be continued, we need to continue this conversation. I'll be in touch with Barbara about this kind of discussion we just had.
Okay.
We're down to criminal justice reform updates. Susan, I think you're on for that.
okay. Yeah, well, I zoomed into the last meeting on May 18th. So there was a lot of, like, as I said, Margie Rice is now the administrative assistant for this Criminal Justice Response Committee. A lot of discussion about program space for programs, how to prevent incarceration if we can, how to re-enter, not fall back into the old patterns. So they're talking a campus with space for the programs. So they talk about an idea of getting IU involved, clinical psych, social work, counseling, school public health, using students for experience and or internships. Somebody brought up, there was a grant proposal for this several years ago that was not funded.
Mhm.
And so question is, could they rewrite it and resubmit it? Possibly involve the hospital as they have an interest in keeping these folks out of the ER. So, talking about Stride Center and so on, so that people don't go to the ER. They did mention that the commissioners mentioned that they have increased the funding for mental health practitioners at the jail, which is good. And then finally, they were talking about need to look for the land. So how many acres are needed? Apparently, the courts want to be co-located. There is another committee, which I don't find any place on the listing of public committees, that involves the judges and perhaps the sheriff. I'm just not sure who's on that. There were a couple of references being made to that during the Zoom meeting, but I couldn't figure out. And afterwards, I went looking for it and didn't see anything about it. So apparently, the courts are working on something
Good.
in conjunction with the Criminal Justice Committee. So Who knows how much, I mean, they don't know how much planned area will be needed. This is kind of a chicken and the egg, you know.
Uh-huh.
How many programs are you going to try to put there? So that means how much land, but you have to look for the land so that you know if you can put the programs there. Then there was a note that the criminal justice study, which finished up a year ago or whatever, said that there's not an increase of people coming into the jail. It's just a revolving door, apparently. Longer stays due to more continuances of the court case, slow court processing. It's noted in the one portion of the report. Okay, then another issue brought up is getting the inmates covered by Medicaid so that substance abuse counseling can be funded through Medicaid. And that Medicaid is problematic because people have to make regular payments, small payments to it's really a kind of a, what do they call it? Anyway, something that pays copay.
It's a copay.
Stuff, yeah. So that, but a lot of people, and I know this from my experiences at VIM, a lot of people don't make those payments, even if they're $5, they just don't make them. Whereupon they get thrown off of Medicaid with HIP, and then you have to be off for 2 months before you can get back on. So anyway, so so then somebody suggested, could funding be available to help with these small copays so that people don't have to come up with them, so that people don't have to remember to do it? Although it would be nice if people could be reminded and remember to do it because they need to be taking responsibility. But we know that a lot of people just can't because of all the other issues they're trying to deal with. They can't think ahead. Somebody suggested the Indiana state government be lobbied to change the requirement, and there was a lot of hollow laughter.
About HIP, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't charge a third party. I mean, that's, even if you have the money, you're charging the recipient, you're charging the person
Yeah.
who receives the insurance. So even if there was a pot of money, how do you charge a third party?
I don't know yeah, it's a good point, Kathy, just, you know, so. Okay, and then a discussion of the goals and values, so on, you know, equity, because we've got increased women and minorities as a percent of the jail population now, how to reduce recidivism. And then just that there's another committee studying the issues and that needs to.
Sounds like more of the same.
It is, unfortunately. They've been meeting for at least 2 months. This is the first one I've managed to get into because I thought they were on Mondays.
Oh,
Now that I find out they're on Wednesdays, I may be able to, I will try to get into the next one. The one after that, I can't. But yes, it's just revolving. I mean, it's the same stuff. We heard it
Say.
2 years ago from the report. And now we're still talking about what the report said.
that's right.
And
So-
if I can interject, I want to provide some insight onto this meeting because I was also at that criminal justice reform. That May 18th meeting was the first meeting since they've hired the administrative, since they've hired Margie. Meetings before that were just trying to get Margie's contract in place. So that May 18th meeting was the first meeting of substance. And that meeting really was to try to figure out what the priorities were of the group. And they did, they said, like, in a dream world, what would we want our jail to have? And so they all were contributing ideas, but no commitments have been made as to who's moving or anything like that. So it's not sure if the courts would move. I think it's just what would we like to see? And then how do we make that happen? So that was the context of the meeting.
I
Okay,
have a question, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Doris.
go ahead.
Where does the jail fall in all of this? What happens to the jail?
That's what they're talking about.
Well, I mean,
A new jail.
this is
We're
new
talking new jail.
jail. I
Okay.
think they're talking new jail because the old jail it's gonna cost way, way, way too much.
Good, good, good. Okay, that's what I want to hear. Thank you.
Yes, they were
But-
discussing building a new jail.
Great, yeah. So,
And the other group that they were referring to is it's the local Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council, so JRAC, JRAC
Justice Reinvestment,
Advisory Council. If you go to the Monroe County website under boards and commissions, you can find all the information about it under the Community Corrections Advisory Board. So it's a committee that's made up of Judge Galvin, Judge Fawcett, Judge Decoff, Sheriff Swain, the prosecutor, the chief public defender. There are individuals from probation, there's counselors, commissioners, there's appointees. It's a combination of a lot of people. There's 26 people.
wow, 26, how can they get anything done?
What was the R? So what does it stand for?
Reinvestment?
Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council.
Good.
And
Sounds encouraging.
it's created by statute. So if you go to the boards and commission page and look under the Community Corrections Advisory Board, it gives a link to all the statutes and what that board is created to do.
Okay,
Great.
okay. All right, well, I'm glad this was the first meeting of substance because that's kind of what it sounded like to me, except that there's 3 months worth of meetings showing up on the list of meetings. And I'm like, if they've been saying this for 6 meetings, this is ridiculous.
see.
The first couple meetings were, there's a discussion about changing the meetings to Wednesday, which occurred. And then there was a discussion about the contract terms for Margie. And so
Okay.
until we got Margie's contract signed,
Okay,
She's still the driving force.
Okay.
yes. Well, I'm
so it would have
very,
been the
very happy.
16th.
That's great.
Yeah, there's another meeting, yeah, on the, like, July 1st or something, June 1st, I mean. And then the next one got moved to a week later. And then the next one is maybe going to be on the same day that we're meeting. So I'll just have to see if I can zoom in on any of these. And Molly, is there any place that the minutes from these or any written information about the discussion or anything is up? I did not see any.
So if
Anything.
you go under the boards and commission tab of our website or of the county's website, they should eventually get there. And then even if you can't attend the meeting, it's available via CAT. So if you can't attend it the day of, you should be able to go back and watch it, the recording.
Yeah, but that's all very well and good, but I don't have Bloomington Cable TV, so I don't think I have access to CATs.
You can access it on the internet.
On the internet, okay. Because I was looking for something written so that I wouldn't have to be frantically taking notes and did not find anything.
I think the process for that committee in a commission is the same that it would be for you, so that they would provide Dina a copy of their minutes and then she would post them. So
Okay.
Their minutes should get posted under the Criminal Justice Response Committee.
Well, I mean, if they haven't done anything until this meeting, that's why there's nothing else up there.
Yes.
Because I looked for minutes for the last 6 meetings and didn't find any,
Okay, good.
but maybe there
Now
will
we
be
know.
now.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
Well, thank you all for pursuing that.
yes.
Sounds like there may be some movement finally occurring.
I hope so.
I think we're ready to go to new business. We don't have anything that's actually on the agenda. Anybody have any items for new business?
No,
No,
No?
We still have items that are unfinished, even though we've just talked about them.
Yes.
We'll keep those on our agenda for next time. How about commissioners' comments? Nice to have you back, Doris.
thank you. It's nice to be back.
Any public comment?
do we have anybody listening in, signed in besides those folks? Okay. Well, Eric.
Goldberg, do you have anything to add to the meeting before we close it out here?
Nothing to add. Thank you guys again for letting me zoom in.
Oh, certainly. Glad you
Certainly.
made it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
Hearing no further comments, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
so moved.
Doris has moved.
I'll second.
Kathy is seconded. Kathy, do you vote yes for this?
I vote yes to adjourn.
Doris,
Yes.
Susan,
Aye.
Goldberg,
Aye.
and I vote yes to adjourn. So thank you all.
Okay.
And our next meeting is scheduled for June the 22nd at 5 o'clock
Good.
here.
Okay,
Thank
thanks for
you.
sharing your phone with me.
Thanks, Mark, for providing technical assistance.
Yes, that's really
Really
helpful.
helped to
That's
have the
great.
visual.
Because I'm
I don't
afraid
think
none
we
of
could
us
have
are
done this without-
techie. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I don't know. Kathy's probably the most techie
No,
of
that's
us.
right. We